Edition LLC. Man, I'm so glad to finally be to get this thing up, going, and powered by now. So basically, we had to get some parts because the motherboard we're using is a Dell motherboard. It's a, hold on for a minute, make sure we got the right board. I think it's on the other box. I think it's a 9010 or 1090. Or the 9010 and 1090 are two different boards. Hold on for a minute. Let me make sure we got this right, because I got the case around here somewhere. Ugh, man, I don't remember this offhand. Give me a minute, people. All right, let me see what we got here. Oh, no. Yank the interface off. We yanked the interface off, so I'm going to go on a wild limb and say 9010. I'm pretty sure it's a 9010. I'm pretty sure it's a 9010. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a 9010. So yes, because there's a 9010 and there's a 1090, because they're both, they have interesting boards. I do want to research the opposite of the 9010 to see exactly what we could do with that. So basically, for anyone who doesn't want to spend money for a real expensive PC, these things are fantastic. These boards come in the Dells. You can keep yours in the case, which is a lot more cheaper to do. I had to take mine out because I like to experiment. And a lot of people take these low-profile PCs and they turn them into gaming PCs. Go check out the specs on YouTube. You'll see that you can actually run Crysis. Crysis is a really high-performance game to play. It's a great way to test out your PC. And yeah, they run perfectly fine. So basically, the problem you're going to run into if you try to like upgrade it beyond the case itself, which I'm doing now. They do come with 4 gigabytes of RAM, which isn't really anything at all, period. It's good if you're basically going to be surfing the internet and work and all that. But if you're really going to game, basically 16 is good, 32 is better. So, and 64 is great. But anyway, so you're good with 16. So that's what we have in 16, but we are going to max out the board because I thought mine actually came with 2 DIMM slots, which means I would only put 32, but since they come with 16, but because it comes with 4, I can put the full 32 in there. So this is the issue we're having right now. So the liquid cooling system we have in here is using something called RGB. It's a whole different kind of connection. One part of it's powered, the other part is these pretty lights. All this lights up here and here because of this little showroom, little light display. And how you're going to have to get that to work, because if you have a motherboard like you're using the Dell, you want to modify it for the new RGB lights. This is what you're going to have to do. So right here, that's right there is your fan port. This has to be plugged in into your board. I did a lot of research. I'm actually watching some stuff online right now, and you cannot connect this into the power supply because you will have issues. Your system will shut down. I've seen people in forum sites and reading through their stuff, and what people try to do is try to put in like a 4-pin, which I was going to do, put in a 4-pin connector. Where is it at? Great. And this, I'm going to get all this stuff wired management right now. So right here, I was going to put in a 4-pin connector on top of this to make this female into a male, and then plug this into another connector, which would probably have a Molex adapter, which would be this, or SATA, which would be this right there, or run it through the floppy drive, which would have been a bad idea, which would have been right there. So to make sure this is going to run quite nicely, we need to run this directly into the board. But how do you do that? Because Dell's CPU fans are different. Most are 4. Theirs are actually 5. So you have to have a special adapter on top of that. It's this nice little case around it to make sure, you know, you can't really plug anything in there you want. You can only use their stuff. So luckily, somebody, and this is why I love at the end of the day when people think outside the box, somebody came up with a fantastic idea to have an adapter that plugs in here, but also on the other end has the 4-pin connector, male, which allows me to be able to, I'm trying to think of the way. No, female, it's a female, and the other one is a female. So it's a female, basically, connector for this 5-pin connector, and it's a female on the other end. So basically, this will allow me to plug this directly into my motherboard, because there's an adapter that will allow me to be able to run the power for this and this into this. And you have to run them into your motherboard. You have to. So let me see. So when you're running your lights, you're running your fans. This is just for the fans. This is not even for the lights. When you're running your fans, you're gonna have, let me see. All right, so the first two, those are fans. The last one, which is the, let me see, PVW something, FG. I'm looking into that. This right here is for your cooling block, right there. That one's for your cooling block, and these two will be in your fans. Now, if I had a crazy setup, I would have ports on the side of these two for more fans, but I don't. And then all this leads into, at the end, this system right here that plugs directly into your motherboard. That's how it's set up. So if you're having a bunch of fans and all over the place, you can connect everything into one hub and then run the rest of this right here through your motherboard. But the only problem with that is our motherboard looks like this. So kind of hard to put this in there, especially when that has 5 pins and this has 4. So someone came up with the idea of basically making an adapter that you can run this right through a Dell, and it says right there, Dell adapter, that allows you to run your 5 pin into your 4. Ta-da! $6, that's it. We can get this powered up. Now, you still have the issue with lights, because it's all lights up. You can power it, but you have no lights. So, let's go over to the RGB lighting system, which should be down here in this chaos and mess down here. I'll be glad when I get into wire management so badly, because I want to clean this up. Now, this is your connector for your RGB, right? So we have to swap this, and I have to go on and rechange this because this is supposed to be a female on the end and not a male. Because the piece we're getting from Amazon basically comes with a little box about that big. On the other end, you have a SATA output, which allow you to power through over here, and then it has an area where you will plug this in, and this will allow you to operate your lights, but not only let them run off by themselves, remote control, so I can control all of this. The front of this glass, which has an infinity glass display on it, which I'll get a chance to show it to you. Also, I can run it all off the same unit, because basically when it comes to these lights, you kind of daisy chain them. You jump one from the next to the next. I want this one to be dedicated by itself. I got 2 remote controls, so I want this one to have its own thing going on, and this one over here has its own thing going on. Now, as for the fans we have here, I still got to put in another hub. I'm going to have to put in, oh man, you have to definitely connect the hub system in here, because our hub is actually depleted over here. We have a hub system coming in because the RAM we have in here, we're going to put heat spreaders on them with the LED lights, and the LED lights all run off the RGB, so that this will all be lit up here, here, and here. And then this is going to come out right here. And I'm thinking about, I mean, it's a retro gaming system. I really don't need a lot of power to run at the end of the day. This is like a 1050. At best, it's a 1050 4 gig, you know, DDR5. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove it and maybe get a 2070. That's enough power, right, to play around with. A 2070 is good enough for just retro games. I think that's good enough. I'm just going to give it a nice big card, but here's the problem we're going to run into. You see that power supply, the ATX right there? If I move all this out of the way, see how close that is to our video card? Our video card can't be a fat card. It's going to have a problem because it's going to bump directly into that. Now it's going to be a problem. So I have to keep it at a low form factor, which means I'm probably roughly, if I can't get the 2070 to fit, then I'm probably going to have to go with a let's see, this is a 1050, maybe a 1650? A 1650. Yeah, 1650 would fit in there perfectly. Yeah. Well, it's just basic at the end of the day. This is a retro box at the end of the day, so we're not going all crazy. It's not like we're hooking up with the i9 setup we're going to have in there. The i9s, everything's going to be snapped in, click, 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 and everything in there is going to be RGB in there. It's going to be crazy, but I'm going to hook that up. So that's going to be easy, man. So I can't wait to hook that up. This is a little bit more interesting because we're using an older board with newer equipment. That's where we get all this to work. Now, I did do a test run before I put all this together. I basically put in the power supply, figured out where the switches were at, the power switches were at, did that ahead of time to make sure everything would run before we started this process, because the last thing you want to do is put together a PC and it doesn't come on. That's going to be a headache. So we already know exactly where our kill switches are at. All the USBs are already hooked up. Yeah, they're all running, so we're good on that. And the liquid cooling system, that's our liquid cooling system we have in, so everything's all good to go. So only thing we're missing right now is just to get this thing up and going. It's just we need one connector for power right here to run this directly into the board, and another one we need is our RGB remote control and switches. That's pretty much it. The only thing I have left on here pretty much to work on is the artwork, design, mod out, applications. But other than that, we're going to put our fans in, because we're not done. We got fans we're going to put in there. I'm going to light this thing up. So we have three, I think, 120 millimeter fans we're going to put here, 220 millimeter fans here, and for the back, definitely another 120 millimeter fan. I'm going to connect all through here. That's going to be RGB. I'm also RGB, make sure I'm saying it correctly. I'm also going to be wiring a separate EL wire trace all out through the back and the outside of the case, because all this glows in the dark. And then we'll start running our piping system through and our artwork and everything else to make this thing come to life. But that's pretty much it. As soon as those small pieces get here, we can game. Unfortunately, we got an i5 processor. We were trying to go with an i7, but guess what? Amazon lost it. They lost the i7. Yeah. So basically, I can always go back in. I can always replace it with an i7 if I want to, which I'm probably going to do it anyway, because I want an i7. I want an i7. That's what I'm going to get. Oh, man, I'm going to somebody else to get the i9. Can you imagine there was an i9 processor and they lost that thing? Man, that would freak me out right there. That would really freak me out. So, great thing about this case is the other side slaps off, it comes off, and there's a compartment for us to hide all these wires and make it look nice and pretty. So that's what we're going to do. But we're going to run a whole bunch of piping through here and down here for our little Mario Brothers setup, which is going to be pretty cool. And we still have to cover this. This still has to be coated with our poly and glow-in-the-dark fluorescent. So this will make all this glow even higher. We're going to trace all that EO wire nicely around it, kind of get a Tron effect, so it generates and lights all this up. Yep, just wanted to share that with you real quick. So even though we are working on that invisible technology over there, because that stuff's still soaking in the tank over there, even though we're still working on that, we're still working on the gaming technology over there. We just need to get this machine up and going, because that's what I want to run off of it. Yeah. Who else did that? No, it was only Dell. Dell only does that. I've been working with Dells for a long time. I've been working with Dells since you had the socket 270s and since you had the Pentium 4 hyperthreads. I've been working with that long, and I said Dell will deliberately modification their boards so you can't take them out and you can't use them in other cases. It used to be worse than that. It used to be designed that you really could not take out a board and put it into another one. It was a headache to get them things out. But they kind of changed that now. So we got our own case screws in there. So that's pretty much it. I think this one over here, that's for the speaker. That's the speaker right over there. There's the speaker. That's pretty much it. So this will be fun. Get this done, get this out of the way. And then we'll mod out the PS5. PS5 is going to be easy modification. Very easy modification. It's just going to be expensive. That's the problem. It's console. I don't want to spend that much money for a console, but apparently I have to because I don't have a choice. I'm not doing 8 terabytes. That's way too much money. I'm spending $1,000 for a console system. That's just way too much. Just too much. We'll do the 4 terabytes at 3. I can't believe I'm spending that. At 360, we'll do the or 350. We'll do the 4 terabytes. But I'm actually looking into how many people installed that particular one and how much heat did it actually give off. Because again, I do want to liquid cool it because I thought it'd be fun. the liquid cool a PS5 hard drive. That'd be interesting. What am I watching over here? Why am I on there? I got music playing over there and music over here. Alright, whatever. I might change out the power supply for what? I think the power supply should be enough for all the games I looked up. Power supply would run perfectly on that with no problem. And oh yeah, I have to get an extension. I have to get a longer SATA cable because the hard drives are right here. This is where the hard drives connect. So this is not long enough at all, period. It's just not going to make it. So yeah, we're going to have to. Can you imagine they start making hard drives that just Bluetooth into the system? Wouldn't that be sick? Like all your parts are just Bluetooth. No cables, no wires. Boop, boop, boop. Everything Bluetooth's in. That would be so sick. Has anyone made that yet? Where basically everything is just all Bluetooth link, no cables, nothing. That'd be sick. I think I'm waiting to the future. Probably somebody's working on it already. But yeah, if you want to do, like I had some people talking about how they don't want to do like an expensive PC at the end of the day. You don't need an expensive PC to game off. You can get a Dell. Basic Dell. The certain model numbers will have that you can use. You can actually turn them into gaming PCs. And they're cheap. And very affordable. So let me see. Yeah, this is what I was looking at. I was looking at the 420 millimeter water cooling systems because I'm trying to figure out how to go about this. Like, we're going to turn the PC to 7010. We're going to turn that into a rack system, like a rack PC. All the parts, everything's going to be exposed. Everything's going to be out in the open for that one. And I really would love to put a 4020 on that thing so badly. But it's a work PC. So I might as well just put that on the i9. We might as well put 420 millimeters on those. I think we're going to do that. We're going to put 2 of them on there. Because I want the i9 to be an extreme beast. I want it to be a beast. It's going to be a huge case, by the way. I heard you have to have a huge case to run that particular water cooling system. So we're talking about roughly maybe $700 alone just for the water cooling system alone. They're like $300 a pop. They're the ones that got the LED readout displays on them. So that's what I want to put on those. So once I build this i9, this whole system set up, we're not going back to console. I am planning to get the PS5. I will get the Xbox Series. I will get the what's the new announced? It's a game something. I forget. I'm sorry if I don't remember. I used to have one. The Switch, Nintendo Switch. We'll get the Nintendo Switch, but the system we're going to build, our main system, is going to be the Warhammer. And the Warhammer, we're going all out. It's going to be very expensive to do it, but I want the best of the best if I put this thing together. And the artwork on it, the design and everything is going to be really, really insane. So I'm going to go all out on this machine. Whew, man. You know what? It even makes me want to design a screen paint, especially for, we have one already designed for Warhammer, but now I want to design something else now just for my Warhammer setup. Like, we make colored screen paint. You know how cool it'd be to have a red screen paint to match the Warhammer? Oh no. I might do one. I might do a custom screen for myself in red. The actual screen's gonna be red. That Warhammer. Yes. Definitely gonna build one. I'm gonna build a custom screen for myself. I might make it invisible. I don't know, I gotta decide on it yet. I haven't figured out what I want to design for my screen. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go with these right here, the big boys. Yeah, that's how big those monsters are. Look at the size of those, they're huge. So if I'm doing this right, if I'm going to do the 420 millimeters, then that means I'm building my own reservoir. Because the reservoir they have for this ain't going to be big enough. I need something really, really crazy. So I'm going to build my own reservoir. I've been watching other people who actually built their own reservoir systems for liquid cooling. It's really not all that hard to do. So, and you have to get a good enough pump to be able to run everything. So yeah, we're going to build the reservoir, and we're going to have the We need a special pump to run everything from there. It's just going to be something completely different. It is. And this will give me some understanding on basically how these things function and work. I mean, I've had them before, I've used them before, but I've never really actually broke it down to see exactly how they really function, how they work, how we can modify these things. And from what I've seen from all the other PC builders, they have modified the daylights out of these things. And I want to be on that level too, where I can actually build my own setup from scratch. That's what I want to be to do. The radiator system, yeah, I would love to have one made with copper. I just saw somebody who basically did copper piping, whole channel with what do they call it, antifreeze, and they were using copper piping. Wow, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I love. One thing I like about PC builds is the fact that watching people go way outside beyond the box. And in here, I respect everybody's opinion. I'll just watch and learn and a few things. Look at the size of that thing. That's why I can't wait to get my monsters in. This guy, I've been watching him like crazy. He's got some pretty interesting theories on it. Jay's 2 cents. I like his channel. I've been watching him a lot. We're gonna definitely do one of these. Definitely gonna do one of these cases. Definitely gonna do these micro cases. So now you can see I'm obsessed with. I'm back in the field with PC. For 20 millimeter. Man, that thing is huge. I want 2 of these on my system. You have to go out here to get those. Huge reservoirs for PC liquid cooling. So let me see. A few people have modded these things out. Good gracious, that is freaking sick. We're gonna need a big reservoir. My reservoir is at least gonna be somewhere between it's gonna be a gallon. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. This PC is going to be something interesting. It's not something lightly you're gonna be able to pick up. It's gonna be big. So what I mean, I want this thing to be an absolute monster. It's gonna be an absolute monster. Can you imagine a gallon for a liquid cooling reservoir? Yeah, it's gonna be monstrous. Now we're gonna need a really big case. So let me see if I'm doing and this guy said the same thing that I said about basically about modifying your liquid cooling system. And what they do is they take off the stock fans and they put on fans that have higher RPMs, and then they use a fan speed controller to speed up the RPMs. Yep. That's why if you look at all my cooling systems, they have basically they have different fans on them, and they're running speed controllers to speed up them RPMs and make them push faster. But we need a much bigger radiator system, because the radiator system actually cools this system down, and we need a massive reservoir to run it. Now, yes, there's going to be a lot more maintenance involved in this. That's definitely true. Good grief, look at that. I told you people do that. Look at the size of that freaking reservoir right there. Why not? This is what I'm talking about. The PlayStation system, the PS5, Xbox, they know these systems push hot. They know they do. Put them in more bigger cases so they can get more airflow. Allow the users to get more access to it. And please put in a liquid cooling system. You don't have to go berserk. You can put a basic liquid cooling system to run nicely on it. And they don't require too much maintenance, to tell you the truth. Look at it. Somebody built their own out of plastic containers. So that's why I'm here watching all this stuff, going to different forum sites. I'm going to make a couple and test these out. Oh, man. I'm telling you. Is that copper? Wow. Look at that. Man, if I had welding capabilities, oh my goodness, man, I would have a ball. I want to do, let me see. I need a huge PC cases. And it's going to have its own zip code attached to it. I need something really big. I remember the Danger Dan or Danger Dan. Definitely Danger Dan. Den cases. All those cases were huge. There were some big cases. I wish they made those. We need a big case. Dude, that's not going to be big enough. Let me see what we got here on the images. Oh, bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Ooh, look at this room for rent. Yeah. I need things to have to be wide. It's going to be big, it's going to be wide. Probably rough. You're talking about a $400 or $500 case easily. You think they're probably not even cheap. Ooh, this thing's going to be crazy. Man. Man, if we get a case that big, the radiator system, I'm going to be able to stick on this thing. I probably can put a 240 on this. I probably can put a 250 on this. For the fan? Yeah. Sheesh. I'm going to have to build this thing bit by bit. It's going to take a while for me. I'm going to put this thing together. Look at the size of that. There we go. That's what we're talking about. That's good enough. That'll work for us. That's big enough. That's a huge, massive case. Yeah, because if you're going to be putting a gallon reservoir in there, of course you're going to need a big case. I just got the bay doors to open up. This is going to be heavy, too. It's definitely going to be heavy. Alright, that's what we'll start with first. We'll start with our case. And, man, might just go for the highest i9 we can get our hands on. Might as well. I mean, you're going to put this whole thing together like this. Might as well. Well, we can do a 2011 server board in here. 2011 server board at 256 gigs of RAM. Sheesh. There is no way in the world you're using that much. The guy was like, what are you launching? Rockets over there? I was like, just thought I'd max it out because I didn't want to go back into it. I like to max my RAM out. But man, let me see. Jet, that case is almost bigger than him. Oh. And yeah, power supply. We're going to have to put in a monster power supply. So, I was wondering if you could run 2 power supplies into one board. Is that possible? Shouldn't be a problem. But I'm going to find out. We'll do our research on this before we find out. Now, they do make an ATX Y adapter that does allow you to run 2 power supplies or multiple power supplies, which you're probably going to need. So we're definitely going to need that from the door. Oh, I remember these right here. Yeah, I remember these babies right here. Oh, are we selling these? Oh, the acrylic case. Oh, made like the little torture rack too. Look, they got everything out in the open, out and exposed. Yeah, they used to call them torture racks, but now it's coming up. Look at this. Tell me that's not sweet. That's sweet. That's a beautiful setup. That is a beautiful setup. I want to save you because definitely I'm going through your page. You got a lot of modified equipment in here for stuff to play around with. Oh yeah, I do want those fans to have like the temperature control. These fans that when they move, the temperature control would pop up on them. Definitely got to have those. We got to have those. You got to have those for the rack. Let me see. Okay, save that one right there. You know the crazy thing about it? A part of me wants to just build the whole thing myself. Like the whole case and everything. Structure one myself. I like the case, don't get me wrong, I do. But a rack system, it's just so much more sufficient because all your parts are out in the open to get access to everything, especially if you're running liquid cooling. You want to get access to everything. Running tubes all over the place, we don't want to be opening up a box trying to figure out where this goes and that goes. But to have everything exposed to get connected, to get everything, oh man. I got to talk to a friend of mine. I got a friend of mine who's a master welder. He's good at welding. I might do a rack system, because I can have all my stuff exposed. I don't have to worry about whether if it's going to fit the case or not. I can build it the way I want to build it. This is what I'm going to run into. Because the 5090s are huge. They're huge, massive cards. And then you got the 420s. They're huge. And then on top, it's going to be crazy. So I'm going to have to build a massive rack and put this thing in. Oh yeah, because this is not going to do it. It's just not going to do it. How are we going to run two power supplies in here? Where are we going to put the other power supply? These things are only designed to take one power supply. Hopefully there are two, but yeah, I want full access to the whole thing. Let me see. PC torture rack. See? That I was joking, didn't you? These are called torture racks. That's the name. It's by a company called Danger Den. It's called a torture rack. And people saying, what the heck do you mean by a torture rack? I never heard of that before. I've been around for a bit. Remember that. I've been around for a bit. Yes. Those of you who remember these things, remember these are clear acrylic cases. They call them UFO cases. That's what they were. And basically these were called torture racks, where basically all your parts are out and exposed so people can see everything. And that was the company that made them. That's what your case looked like. Remember I told you I got that case that I purchased? The entire thing, even the screws, are basically transparent. Everything's transparent. Yeah, try to put one of those together. And even worse, the instructions that they gave me were in Japanese. So you figure that one out. That's the case that I built to put the Xbox 360 in. But I modified it. Yep. And somebody's saying, why do you keep saying torture rack? It's not called a torture rack. I never heard of a torture rack before. You got to go back, people. You got to go back. Now, is it hard to find these cases? Yeah, because the company, I can't find a company. I wish I could, but this is not going to be enough to hold what we're going to put in there. All these things were so fun. Yep. It's kind of cool, like looking at all your parts functioning right in front of you. I'm just saying. Let me see. Large PC rack case. See? I have to mirror somebody modded when they built their own. Because if I do it myself, I got a whole stackable section I can put my drives in. I can put 3 power supplies if I want to. I can build it anywhere I want. And I can put that 230mm fan on the back of it with a nice radiator system. I can probably put in 3 of the 420s on this sucker if I do it myself. Like these right here, because everything's out and exposed. And if I'm doing the open rack, then I definitely want to do the whole entire temperature controlled display. And along with that, I wonder if they have it. Temperature control LED fans. I wonder if they still have these things. Not like these. These actually, when the fan moves, you can see the temperature of the fan. But that's pretty hot right there. Remember Cool PC used to make these. Frozen PC. Frozen PC. It was Frozen PC and Cool PC. I wonder if they're still around. I used to get all my stuff from there. I already bought so much stuff from over Frozen PC that the owner who owned, actually, I wish I'd have kept that. He kind of signed his name to a thank you note for me. I thought that was so freaking cool. Temperature control readout on a fan. This is what we're going to be installing in our system because I'm going to be see the whole temperature and everything. Matter of fact, I'm going to install one of these right here, $11. Drop one of these in the PS5. Ooh, temperature control, touchscreen, giddy up. This is the fun stuff, man. But I want to do temperature control LED readout on fan. What the freak is that? Oh, we have to figure out how to wire that thing in. That looks pretty crazy. What the freak? Yeah, we don't need one of these. We're never gonna get one of these put in. Definitely. USB, clock, fan, real time, temperature display. Oh yeah, we would definitely do one of these in. We're gonna actually put one of these in. Definitely got it, one of these in. That'd be pretty cool. I'm gonna go back to here. Yeah, I'm building my own rack system. Quite frankly, I can construct the whole thing out of PVC too. Black PVC, very heavy, well constructed, easy to build, like working with Legos. Yeah, you can basically drill holes in it, put in all kinds of screws, bolts, all kinds of attachments. Yeah. Oh, that'd be sick. I can put the 2 Warhammer skulls on each side and have the little drape down. Oh, but they had the. Oh yeah, I gotta look at this real quick for a minute. Warhammer skulls. Oh, we're going to have a ball building this thing. I could build a nice little platform around it and put a whole entire war scene of Warhammer fights going back and forth. Yeah, I'm gonna ball with this. This is gonna be fun. I haven't had a chance to build something like this since I built the other piece. It's been a long time since I really had a chance to take my time and just build something crazy. And all this started with that. With basically building a RetroPie system. That's all. Giant RetroPie PC. That's where all that sparked off from. Now we're going to be building all these crazy PCs. So basically, I'm going to put something on the page where basically we're going to have a lot of our PC builds on there and people can share their stuff and we'll load them onto the website, stuff like that. Warhammer, let me see, Warhammer's PC case. I've seen the Warhammer PC case before. I think I've seen them. It's not even big enough for what I want. Warhammer colors. And there's different class. There's definitely like a different class. We have to pick which class we're going to use. I had a friend of mine who did all this stuff. Like literally, he had the whole entire desk, this huge, massive desk. He was into Dungeons and Dragons. Never knew it either. Never knew it for the longest time. Like I never knew that's what he did. He was into. Kind of kept it a secret. One day we went to this hobby shop and he was just picking up these figurines and stuff, and he knew everything about it. Like he was telling me all this stuff and the background, the history. I was like, "You play that game?" He said, "Yeah." He finally like, "Oh, you can know somebody for years and wouldn't know what some of their hobbies were." And he showed me his cell phone. It's freaking amazing. He actually hand paints them and prints them out and everything. It's crazy. He does the whole layouts, everything. He does it all. Never knew. Knew this guy for like 10 years and never knew he did that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. I guess he thought at the end of the day that I probably would laugh at it. No, I thought it was fascinating. He painted all this by hand. You know how hard it is to paint those things? That's some really tedious work at the end of the day. Sit there with a magnifying glass and detail all that out. Amazing. I went in and checked it out. It's pretty fascinating. I literally don't have the patience for this. I literally would pay him to do it. Like, I need you to paint something for me because I do not have the patience for it. Warhammer action figures. I'll get mine already done. Alright, so before we actually start buying these things, we need to go in and look at the research on what they're all about. I know some stuff about Warhammer, but not deeply. Like some people really know some crazy stuff about Warhammer. Like, you ever read the book Halo? Do you know how big that book is? It's like reading War and Peace. It is huge. Apparently, there are books behind Halo. A lot of them. And some of the people I've met in playing Halo, they've read these books. And they know so much about Halo. Like, I never even knew. Not it'll put a comic book to shame. Right there, 30 books on this. So yeah, we have to do some research because whatever we're going to be, whatever class we're going to use, we need to know what that class is about, what they do, the whole 9 yards, everything. I got to explain it. It's like having a muscle car and you don't even know what's under the hood. Oh, it's an engine there, but what does it do? It goes. There you go. You see what I mean? You have to know your stuff to figure out which one of these we want to use and what they stand for, stuff like that. So we got a ton of research to do on this PC. Isn't that interesting? Like, I can just build the PC and slap it together and put some parts on it and be done with it. Or, basically, we can literally build an entire world around this thing. And basically, we have to study the history and what all this stuff is about and what team we're going to go to. All that. It all goes in. We got to learn all this stuff. Like the quasar. I had to know exactly what a quasar was. So, yep, a lot of research. I might bring this thing. This thing, if I get a chance, I might bring this to a PC show. PC show. Yeah, this is pretty much what I want right here. See how the armor looks new? That's the part I don't like. I want it to look realistic. Like they've been through some battle. It looks too new. This is where my buddy comes in. I send this over to him. He'll make these things look really crazy realistic. Alright people, my phone's about to die. I wish I could stay longer. We can talk about more stuff at the end of the day, but I have to go. Phone's going to die pretty soon. Gotta charge it up. But yeah, that right there, we'll order the piece for it, get it up and going, so I can get my arcade, at least my arcade machine up and going. and then we'll work on other stuff. And mind you, we're also working on this stuff too over here, and some other stuff we're working on along the way. And sooner or later, we're going to have the projector equipment needed to we can activate this unit, because this allows you to be the drag and drop options across the floor and all that stuff. This thing is freaking cool at the end of the day. So we'll get a chance to play with all these cool toys and show you exactly what it does involving our screen paint products. So yeah, all the PCs and stuff we're building, it's all for gaming technology we're developing. Mind you, it doesn't just stop at this gaming technology. We literally have tabletops. With this tabletop that stretch over top your table, it's coated with that chemical that allows you to be the game off your table. We got these mats coming out that basically you can game off the floor. We got a lot of cool stuff coming out for gaming. And on top of that, we got the glass screens that are coming out pretty soon. So yeah, we're gonna build a bunch of PCs, custom mod some gaming consoles and stuff, and maybe hopefully we'll get another website open where people can come in and log in. They can drop off their PCs and stuff like that, chat rooms and stuff like that, so we can all come together as one big community and have fun. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to work on. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, people. Hope you enjoyed. I got to go. Thank you for your time. And God bless. And, of course, understand if it weren't for our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, none of this would be possible. Got to go, and God bless.